Oh, well, now did you hear this? We're sending 1,000 New York City cops over to Iraq to restore order and help set up the police force. Now, they're not going to stand out. A couple of dozen Irish guys in Jets jackets, you know. Hey, genius, come here. You live here? You with the beard. Come here. Officer, that's not my camel. Hi, boys. Dig in. Ooh, look at that little... that's the spirit. Drink up, right? Have a little fun once in a while, for crying out loud. The only one that ever eats on this show. What, is this a weird way to open? Now listen. How about this New York Baghdad cop thing? What do you think?
Well, a test pattern show. I'm going to tell you.
A blatant.
No. I think the New York police going over there, that way they'll finally find the weapons of mass destruction after they plant them.
See? Spoken.
Because I don't trust cops. Yes, you got it.
Yes, I understand.
You know, but there are no black people in Iraq, so how are the cops going to know who to shoot at?
Oh. Thanks, applause break. Thanks, applause break.
Yes.
Well, he had to be liberal today because he was dressed like Jeff Tweedy from Wilco.
But you got to say it's a really brilliant move when they're cutting cops here to then send more over there. You know, because we're not going to hell in a handbasket as it is. Let's just, and while we're out of transit cops, get those guys over. Send all the cops. Send firemen too, for God's sake. Well, get them all out of here. As a matter of fact, why don't we go?
Oh, Jesus, angry.
It's true, though. You're going to have a bunch of jaded Baghdad cops in 10 years, like New York cops. I'm just in it for my 20. Get out of here. 20 and I'm out.
Send the cops that we don't need. We don't need certain cops. So it's not, you know, like, oh, well, okay.
Who are these cops? Leave my people out.
Crossing guards. We don't need no damn crossing guards for cops. Women cops, get rid of them. Oh, my, we don't need women cops. With their flat asses and that bad hairdo.
Nina maids?
Let them go to the WNBA where that kind is accepted.
But they can't, I mean, it does seem crazy because you know, there's going to be so many cultural differences. How are the cops going to know? I mean, one of the biggest things cops have to do is clear up domestic disturbances. And over there, it's like you can beat your wife for anything over there. You could hit her for showing too much eyebrow, and you know, you don't even have to be drunk or shirtless. So,
that's right.
But don't you think this is going to piss off the people there already? Because they're already pissed off. Don't you think this is going to add more to it that we're sending our cops over here? The cops that we don't even like. I mean, black people don't like.
Well, we like them. But I'll tell you something. First of all, they're all going to be detoxed in the first week because there's no drinking over there. How do you think it feels to be a cop and they don't go drinking? That's got to hurt. No? Well, speaking on that same subject, what Lewis was bringing up, New York is broke, okay? That's the big word. Now, is this insane? How could this city with this many millionaires and billionaires be broke? It's pretty psychotic. What's going on?
I'm from Philadelphia. We're doing just fine.
Oh,
yeah.
Philadelphia, you've been broke for like 40 years.
No.
There's nothing in Philly.
We're doing great in Philadelphia.
You're not. There's nothing there.
You're barely a city. You're like a diorama. This is a city.
We've been nice to you for a long time because you have decent sports teams, but your city is awful and nobody wants to hear it. I'm not even angry.
I'm from Philadelphia. Wait a minute, but we have money though.
It's amazing. I mean, there has to be some systematic. If New York City could go broke, any place could go broke.
How do you know they're broke? How do you know they're broke?
What do you think, the mayor's lying?
Yes, he just comes on and says we're broke. I never seen the books.
it's the stock market.
And you never will either. If I have anything to say about it.
It's the stock market. You know, it's the whole trickle-down thing. I mean, this whole city's fueled by the stock market.
Right.
And when these guys, you know, it's all reverse trickle-down economics. If you have these bond traders and stockbrokers not making their $1 million bonuses, that's going to affect the cocaine dealers and the high-end escorts. And, you know, then the escorts, they don't get their nails done as much. That affects the Korean community. It spreads all over the city.
That's very good. God damn it, that's good.
You know, once again, though, you got this thing of like, you know, the schmuck mayor we got is he, instead of going you know, he's dealing with smoking in bars. That's that becomes his obsession. He deals with that. Meanwhile, you know, they're looking at the numbers. The numbers don't add up. We don't have anything. We don't have anything because they blew up 2 buildings, you know, and and the federal government's going to cut. Oh, did I lose my?
I'll get that for you.
I lost my voice.
Keep talking. Keep talking. It's fine. Here you go.
350
You're
billion.
getting all hot and bothered. Calm down.
It's irritating. The federal government's going to cut $350 billion in taxes. That's what, George wants to do. So, to take some of that money and send it here. Look, we took the hit. Hello? We took the hit. So say, say we're going to cut cash. We're going to, he's going, well, we're going to stimulate the economy. What? You gotta have an economy to stimulate, jackass.
Do we have a doctor for Lewis?
Yeah, you have a heart attack.
I feel better now.
Yeah, but don't.
Jesus, Lewis, you're going at it, man.
But the other thing is, look, now speaking of this off-duty cop thing and the smoking thing, that guy got killed, the bouncer, from smoking, and now they're going to start hiring off-duty cops as bouncers at clubs.
That's
what do you
great.
think about that?
I think it's, first of all, every cop I know spends all his off-duty time in a bar anyway. So they might as well be. They do it in other cities, right?
But that just for a guy smoking and all. No, you don't
Well, not
need
just
that.
smoking,
I know what it is. But we can't police every damn thing. We can't do that.
Let's be honest. You know exactly what it probably is. A bunch of SUVs blasting rap music at 3 o'clock in the white neighbors when we're trying to sleep.
See, that's baloney. There you go. That's baloney. It was the Asian guy who was the culprit right there.
No, that's true.
That had nothing to do with
And he
black people.
stabbed the black guy, too.
Say it again.
No.
Stabbed the black
And he
guy.
stabbed
the
him,
black
yeah.
guy.
What do you think about that? No, don't try to get over it now. Let's deal with
I'm
that
not trying to
racist
get over
statement
it.
that you just made.
I'm trying to go over to that man bites dog incident. Here's the point.
What is the point?
I used to live when I lived in Bay Ridge, we lived right near a bar, and people would, every night it was the same thing. Drinking, fighting, cursing, screaming, urinating, and vandalism. Finally, they told me, you can't come in anymore. But I'll tell you something.
Hey, Bob Hope, that was great.
Well, guess what? The crowd seemed to enjoy it, fellas. And they're younger than any one of us, you sons of bitches. Sorry, folks, I guess you haven't been around comedy lately. Apparently it's uncool if you put a punchline at the end of a joke. Listen, we'll be right back. I know that's what Daddy said when he went out for the paper 10 years ago, but we're not lying to you. Okay. Well, first off, let's face it, there was another violent attack last week in baseball by a fan. Now, see this kind of nonsense that goes on? All right, look, I hope it's up there because I don't see anything, but what do you think about this madness?
I think it's your people, Irish people, that's all it is. Drunk Irish people. Let's deal with it the way it's supposed to be dealt with. Irish people just look in the camera and tell them to stop. You'll end it right now. That's your folks. Drunk, they always got their shirts off like they're in shape. What?
I'll tell them to at least keep their shirts on.
I think it's great. Baseball's boring. Never been a contact sport. You finally get a couple of drunks every couple innings. Tackle an umpire. I thought it was hilarious.
But they never can fight. At least give me a good fight.
That's the best part of it. He couldn't even run. You saw him. He was going sideways.
The reality is some of these umps do suck.
Yeah.
Maybe this will just keep them on their toes a little bit,
I just say, better these guys there than in a comedy club. I deal with them those guys, they don't even know where they are. And to get them out there where they can run around and have some,
Yeah, but none of them know how to fight.
They
It's not a
can't
danger.
fight. It's the damn, you're Irish people, I'm going to stay on them, man. They cannot fight. Stop it.
Why does he get to be racist?
Because I can. They all fight like this. This is Irish guy.
You can only be racist if you make a point that we can't deny. Look, Irish people can fight. Billy Kahn. It was a few years ago.
That was 1930.
But how drunk
But he was good.
How drunk do you have to be it's like, what, 2 weeks into the season or 3 weeks, and you're already psychotic? Your team's record is 7-5. What difference does it make?
He's got money on it.
But it's because a lot of these people, I hate to be on the sophisticated level of psychology that I am, but
wow.
A lot of these people, they watch the ref blow a call and they get mad because they're drunk and all the blown calls they've made in their lives. You know, the fact that they could have invested in Pfizer, and they, when Viagra came out, they invested. The fact, the relationship they made.
Carl, it was the first inning. There wasn't nothing even going on.
What was it?
And he attacked a big Dominican Marine.
Dominican, no. It was a Dominican ref.
Yeah.
Both incidents were at the same ballpark, though, right?
Yeah.
So I don't like how they're making it like it's the whole league. It isn't. It's just people on the south side of Chicago.
But don't you think that? That's a good point.
It is.
They won't bring that up. Yeah.
A lot of these people, it's part of our culture now where everybody wants to be, you know, nobody's happy just sitting back and watching anymore. You got to be involved. It's all that reality show. You know, these are people, they're too stupid for a game show. They're too chicken for Fear Factor. They're too ugly to get on Survivor. So they just run out and make fools of themselves on television.
But wait a minute. Survivor has some good-looking people, by the way.
But that's what I'm saying.
You're right. I'm really an idiot. But listen to this. Don't you think when you look at like any other place, their fans go out and like, you go to England, the soccer fans like kicking to death while they're singing the best hits of Ministry and stuff. You know, any other place, people are psychotic. Our fans are pretty well behaved. It's once in a while it's a drunken person of Celtic extraction.
Well, in Philadelphia.
A Celtic American. Now let's talk about this. Now look at this. NBC. This girl's 13. This is a show on NBC on a regular network. Okay, take a look at this. 13.
Good Lord.
Oh, my goodness.
Now, personal feelings aside.
Did you put that in slow motion?
personal perversions aside, don't you think? I know that's a racy number from Chicago, but is this? Don't you think we've lowered the age of consent on TV to like 14 now?
Yeah.
It seems like child porn is normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like Baywatch for pedophiles.
You know, I mean, I hate
Say it louder, Billy. We don't have great mic system. Baywatch for pedophiles, you know? It's your first time on, you got to really hit home. Now look. you know when you have a rep like dumb Lewis.
The mic's right here.
Lewis does not need this. He's already got his big rep over around the corner. And let me tell you something else. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, you hate to sound like some Baptist preacher from the '50s complaining about Elvis the pelvis, but it really is getting too far. I mean, the dance moves that are popular now are basically, you know, stripper moves, and these girls are like, I mean, it used to be if you wanted to see a 9-year-old girl dancing like a stripper, you had to go to Bangkok. Now, you know, now it's all, I mean, really, you watch those girls dance and they're pulling every stripper move except for grabbing a single out of a drunk guy's mouth with their clenched butt cheeks. They're doing everything else.
Well, what happened genetically in our lifetime? Because when I was 13, there wasn't anything like that around. These girls were in front of like a Kenner baking set, baking stuff all day and eating it by themselves. You know, it's like bowling balls, you know? That's unbelievable. Where were they when I was, you know, seriously?
But we were... Well, I'm glad you hit the most important part of that on the head. Where were they when you were 13?
Well, they're here now, huh, fellas?
But the point is, that's a perfect example of, we all find that funny, but 30 years ago, like 8 guys would have came up after the show, I didn't appreciate that, mister, and give it a big right hand. All people have was a right hand in those days. All right, look, we'll be right back with the only show where the guests don't care if they're hated or liked, as long as they can humiliate others and me and themselves. Because Will Ferrell hogged all the good parts. I should have done some characters on his... Oh, hello. This war against terrorism is unlike any other war in the history of the world. We're not fighting a specific country with borders and army. We're fighting Islamic fundamentalists in Iraq, the Philippines, and Patterson, New Jersey. You know, it's overwhelming. I miss the beauty and the simplicity of the Cold War. The Soviet Union. Remember the evil empire? Its finger on the button, ready to nuke us to smithereens. I'm not saying the Cold War was perfect. We blacklisted Arthur Miller and made Yakov Smirnoff a star, but when I look back now, I'm laughing. Someday I'll be in Branson saying, hey, how about a handful of Roy Clark? Now look, the Cold War seems like the good old days of democracy versus communism, good versus evil. Because at least the Cold War was exciting. There were defectors. Remember how cool it was when a Russian dancer defected to America? They made us feel superior by describing how repressive their life was under communism, and in return, we let them have sex with Jessica Lange, right? Oh, hey. You're right. There are some things that are off limits. I didn't know one of them. She was one of them. But now I can't get a lap dance at Scores without a stripper from Estonia whining about how much better the tips are when the Hungarian mob's in town. And I hate to get nostalgic about something as god-awful as terrorism, but in my day there was no Al-Qaeda with its bands of hairy fundamentalist virgins living like freaks in sleeper cells waiting to be activated by a cave-dwelling, green-skinned diabetic. My terrorists were Marxist revolutionaries who drank, smoked, and had orgies. You were always only one bong hit away from joining them. And terrorists back then knew how to hijack an airplane. They weren't trying to die for Allah. They were trying to land in Cuba. Nobody got hurt. The pilots and the stewardesses had a few days to hook up, and everybody went home with a cigar. And I'll tell you something else. Terrorists in the Cold War didn't subjugate their women. They hired them. The 70s were rife with hot chick terrorists. Bernadette Devlin of the IRA. That's right. Layla Khaled, Black September. Ingrid Schubert, the Bader Meinhof gang. Terrorism with a pout. You know what else I miss? The way the Olympics used to be. During the Cold War, we used the Olympics to duke it out with the Russians. Remember, like the Miracle on the Ice? That was exciting. Most of the Islamic countries don't even send athletes to the Olympics. Even if they do, it's not exactly a fair fight. You know, I mean, hey, Soroya, you know, that burka's going to add a little drag, you know, but be that as it may, but the best thing about the Cold War is that the Soviet Union was atheist. Okay, it was so easy to hate those godless commies. Who are you going to piss off? An atheist? They're already pissed off, right? But now, if you say anything, if you say you hate Islam, everyone calls you a racist, and then the Muslim guy at work tries to prove that Islam is a religion of peace by making you read the only sentence in the Quran that doesn't end with death to the infidels. Oh, man. I miss the Soviet Union. Well, you know, my favorite Cold War president, or as I like to say, my favorite Cold War president, depends on how you really look at things, once said that change is the law of life, and those who look only to the past or present are certain to miss the future. Well, I don't want to miss the future, so I'm going to ogle the past and look but don't touch the present. Svetlana! Don't worry. I'm going to tip like an arms dealer from Budapest. We'll be right back. Oh, well, folks. So, Keith, you like that actress in the last scene? Is that what you're trying to...
She was wonderful.
She was a wonderful performer?
Yes.
Brilliant. New York City is broke, folks. Services are being cut. The subway is going up to $2. Times are tough, and they're getting worse. So I'm asking our resident economic experts, what product or service would you tax to raise cash for New York City? Louis Black.
Well, I think we should tax crap. I mean, anything that's crappy. Anytime anybody buys something like a Britney Spears CD, the Titanic DVD, any performance by a ventriloquist, a hypnotist, or a mime, the movie The Core, or that idiotic Bringing Down the House, the musical version of Urban Cowboy and Cracker Barrel, to name just a few. If you want crap, you should have to pay twice as much for it. And if you're stupid enough to want crap, you're stupid enough to pay for it. And who'll be the judge of what's crap? I will, because I got a lot of time on my hands.
All right. I'm warning you sons of bitches about applause. I don't care. Billy Burr.
All right, this is what I think. I think we should tax, you could raise a lot of money if you start taxing people who dance on rollerblades. No, these people are the biggest jackasses in the city. They ruin Central Park for like 3 months out of the year. They listen to the worst music ever. They're always like skating backwards, or like their ass is sticking out, with like this excited, like, ooh, what's the music gonna make me do next? Look, I think and on top of all that, they actually think they're cool. All right, so I think to be that irritating and not know it, you should have to pay a $50 unaware of being a douchebag tax.
All right. No, I try not to encourage applause between each segment, because then when I watch TV, everything's applause, applause. Nobody ever gets the content. Excuse me, fellas, for looking out for our craft, you bastards. Greg. Thanks, Greg. Thank you. That deserves it.
Well, we already have huge taxes on cigarettes, so we just need to get more people to start smoking. Smoking is cool, and it's about time we got that message out to the kids. And we should also tax those people sending those penis enlargement and mortgage rate spammings on the internet, because I'm tired of the nagging sense that a lot of people out there seem to think I'm a guy with a tiny schlong that really needs to refinance. That one I don't lie to.
Keith Robinson.
You know what? I wouldn't tax anybody. What I would do is I'd make Mayor Bloomberg go out from place to place as a homeless person. Excuse me, I don't mean to disturb anybody, but if you got a quarter, maybe 50 cents, we can get ourselves a few cops and work things out. That's it, and it stunk. God, did that stink.
It was a nice, low-key little acting piece, baby.
He didn't commit. I didn't
He
commit.
did commit. Well, this is hardly the time nor the place.
It was hard. I thought it was too good.
All right, don't worry. It'll be blank by my bomb, so don't worry. I would tax everybody who uses the terms "don't go there." I'm not trying to hear that. What's up? 10 years after that commercial's been off the air. I'd like to continue talking about money, but we have to give these guys cab fare. So good night. We'll see you next time.